We shall commence this module by discussing about what we actually mean by unemployment. India is a developing nation. In fact, 70% of the Southeast Asia is under development. Developing countries are also called due to lower human development index relative to other countries. India being the second most populous countries after China and having population over 1.2 billion is bound to face challenges like poverty, corruption, malnutrition, inadequate public health care and unemployment. To begin with the study of the trends of a nation with such dimensions, it is very important to know and clear the basics. Unemployment occurs when people are without any work and are actively seeking to work. This includes only involuntary unemployment and excludes frictional, voluntary unemployment. Frictional unemployment takes place when people are in search of work, they are technically unemployed. Voluntary unemployment occurs when people who are able-bodied voluntarily abstain from working. Frictional unemployment is considered under voluntary unemployment since it reflects human search behavior. Economists since early 90s have been trying to define unemployment and explain its nature theoretically, Keynes being one of them. Keynes' theory on income and employment has been widely accepted. He believed that the root cause of unemployment is the desire of investors to receive more money rather than produce more products, which is not possible without public bodies producing new money. Keynes also believed that the intervention of the government at the right time in the economy can change level of unemployment in any country. After studying this module, you shall be able to know about the following. Learn about the increasing trend of unemployment strength in India. Understand the positive relation of unemployment with population growth in India. Analyze the alarming state and the need of the country to industrialize with sustainable development. Understand the demographic features of the country with the role of youth and growing personnel, their collective contribution and approach to unemployment. Let us now discuss the current trends of unemployment. Creating new jobs is a crucial task and it plays an important role in the economy. Having the largest population of youth in the world with about 66% of the population under the age of 35, impact of declining financial market is the worst in India. Although education level in the recent years has increased, yet skill development is a crucial issue. The Labour Bureau with the Union Ministry of Labour and Employment, that is UMLE, disclosed an annual employment and unemployment survey report. In India, the unemployment rate measures the number of people actively looking for a job as a percentage of the labour force. The report for 2012 and 13 establishes that Sikkim has the highest rate of unemployment, whereas Chhattisgarh has the lowest rate of unemployment in the country. Overall, unemployment rate in the country is 4.7%. The northern India, Jammu and Kashmir, has the maximum number of unemployed people, followed by Himachal Pradesh, Delhi, Chandigarh, Punjab and Haryana. Unemployment rate in rural or village area is 4.4%, whereas in cities or urban areas it is 5.7%. According to a National Sample Survey Office known as NSSO, last year also there was a reduction in India's employment rate that had gone down to 38.6% in 2011 and 12 between July and June from 39.2% in 2009 and 10. With this fall in the employment rate, unemployment rate had risen from 2.5% to 2.7%. In the year 2004 and 5, the employment rate was 42%. In the 5-year plan falling between 2004 and 5 and 2009 and 10, only 2.7 million new jobs were created, whereas in the previous 5 years, 60 million new jobs were created. As per the report, number of women who lost their jobs was greater than the number of men. Number of men working between 2009 and 2012 remained almost same, but the number of women working dropped from 18% to 16%, which is a huge amount of 2%. Though in terms of percentage it looks small, but the actual figures are really surprising. In rural sector, about 90 lakh women were unemployed in the period of 2 years. On the other hand, 35 lakh women were added to the workforce in urban areas. Overall, unemployment in females was more as compared to males. For females, it was 7.2%, whereas for male, the unemployment rate was only 4%. Kerala, being the most literate state in India, had the highest rate of unemployment, that is close to 10% among the large states. Assam had a rate of 4.3% and West Bengal 4.5%, which are indeed huge percentage of people unemployed. Decline in job creation has also been revealed by cited which have employment opportunities online. Monster.com is one of the biggest online job portals and measures the strength of applications, though Monster Employment Index, because of the global economic conditions, Indian employers have posted less number of job opportunities in this job portal. The Monster Employment Index is a monthly measure of online job posting activity. The data is based on a real-time assessment. The same sluggish growth has been shown by Naukri Jobs Peak Index of Naukri.com. Number of task force in agriculture sector has been sinking drastically, and for the first time it is below 50%. The farm sector now has 49% of the workers, manufacturing sector has 24% and service sector has 27% workforce only. India must watch and consider employment as a major driver of the economy. Economic growth in 2009 and 10 was 9%, whereas in 2011 and 12 it came down to 6.2%, leading to decrease of 3.1%, which is influential and drastic. From 1983 up to 2011, unemployment rates in India averaged 9%, reaching high of 9.4% in December 2010 and a record low of 3.8% in December 2011. The number of unemployed people in India decreased to 39,963,000 in 2009 from 39,974,000 in 2007, which is a huge drop of 11,000. Unemployed people in India and Kenya averaged 36,933,000 from 1985 until 2009, having a drastic rise of 41,750,000 in 2001 and a record low of 24,861,000 in 1985. In India, unemployed people are individuals who are without a job and actively seeking to work, that is, excluding the frictional and involuntary unemployment. Noting facts from the India Skills Report launched in the third CII, that is Confederation of Indian Industries, National Conference on Skill Development, 34% of people were found employed out of about 1 lakh candidates. The report not only established the skill levels of the talent pool, but also brought out the hiring estimates across the major industry sectors in the country. As per the report's finding and facts, the coming years would not see vehement employing in any of the sectors. Out of about 10 sectors surveyed, majority of the sectors like BFSI, BPO or ITS, manufacturing etc. are not expecting an efficient change in their employing numbers. On the basis of gender, it was noted that the female candidates were better than the males. Many more such details are a part of first India Skills Report, which is an effort to portray the skill levels of the supply side and the needs of the demand side of talent and sought equilibrium between the two ends. Reaching out to over 1 lakh students spread across the country, significant to approximately 100 employers spread across 10 industry sectors, the India Skill Report has helped to create an agenda that can function to solve the talent supply demand challenge the country is facing. The report was published and put to format by Mr. Shikhar Agarwal, who was the Director General of Employment and Training, Ministry of Labour and Employment of India. Now, we will move on to discuss the plan-wise unemployment trends. An interesting thing to examine the procedures in estimating unemployment being evolved from plan to plan partly based on the results available from the various sources and on the basis of the carry forward of the data of the previous plans. To begin with, the first plan did not make any estimate or record of unemployment. The second plan noted the unemployment at 5.3 million, which included 2.8 million in rural areas on the basis of the report by Agriculture Labour Inquiry and 2.5 million in the urban areas on the basis of the National Sample Survey in 1953. Unemployment in urban areas was also supported by Register of Employment Exchanges after making due allowance for the proportion of the total unemployed people registered at exchanges. During the formulation of the third plan, however, there was no direct reference to the NSS or employment exchange figures, but the figure of unemployment from the second plan was carried forward after adding 1.7 million to provide details for the underestimate previously made of the new entries to the labour market during the plan period and 2 million for the shortfall in the previous plan achievements. Hence, the total unemployment at the beginning of the third plan was estimated at 9 millions, which is indeed a huge number. This figure has been subsequently revised to 8 million, taking into consideration the results of NSS since available and earlier overestimate. It is now anticipated that the fourth plan will start with a debit of 12 million unemployed persons, which is again obtained by carry forward of 8 million from the third plan, to which the shortfall of the plan achievements in relation to the new entrants to the labour market to the extent of 4 million has been added on. A brief mention may be made here with regard to unemployment among educated persons, that is those who have passed high school or higher examinations. The study group on educated unemployed set up by the Planning Commission in 1955 estimated the educated unemployed at 0.5 million in 1956, which was also the figure referred to in the second plan. This estimate was based on employment exchange figures after necessary adjustment for the proportion of unemployed registered at exchanges as revealed by the NSS. Subsequently, the third plan put this figure at 1.0 million in 1961 on the same basis as that adopted by the study group. In this context, it may be relevant to refer to the number of educated applicants remaining on the live registers of exchanges. Huge issue is the question how to devise a demographic policy to separately meet the demands. The reason for unemployment could be lack of quality of education or lack of opportunities. Having more than 71,000 pre-degree colleges and senior secondary schools, 25,938 colleges for professional educations and 436 universities, India is backlogging to cater to the education needs. Apart from this, in addition, there are nearly 14 lakh schools in the country for a population of 25 crore children in the age group of 5 to 14 years. Therefore, with the given number of educational institutions, there is a necessity to enhance the quality of education by ushering in competition, by probably inviting foreign universities to set up campuses in India. Employment creation forms a major function of economic growth and capital investment. As the process involves a lot of time, one basic way could be to advise our youth to look for employment opportunities abroad. A strong outflow of migrants has been observed, which includes 2/3 migrating to the Gulf countries, 13% migrating to the North America, while Asian countries other than Persian Gulf have migrants about 10%. Apart from these, fast developing Europe has less than 3% of migrants but has to offer excellent opportunities for high and medium skilled labor, especially in Italy, Germany, Poland and France. These opportunities need to be capitalized in the near future by manpower planning. Over the years, migrants have inclined toward the countries like Spain, Switzerland, Italy and UK, but not in significant numbers to Germany, France and Poland. As a matter of fact, the migrants' flow to countries like Portugal and Austria has declined in the last decade. These countries, having population crisis, need immigrants given the low birth rate averaging 1.6 births per woman against the replacement rate of 2.1. Countries like Germany, Spain, Italy and Poland, the birth rate is less than 1.5 birth per woman and they are dependent on immigrants. According to official statistics on aging, one-third Europeans are expected to be above 65 years of age by 2060, and migration to European countries is expected to increase significantly by 2020. 1 million in Germany, 1.1 million in Spain, 1.3 million in Poland, 1.4 million in the UK and 2.1 million in France. Also, migration is expected to add up to 60 million people in Europe by 2060. The elderly, known to be the silent segment of the population, gets neglected in most of the policies of the government. India, having more than 11 crore elderly people believed to be above the age of 60 years, generally women who urgently need care, include 90% who are associated with the unorganized sector and are not included in any substance social security program. Approximately 4 crore elderly people who are under the below poverty line category get old age related pension of only rupees 500 and the remaining 8 crores have to fend for themselves. There is a need to address two things in connection with changing demographies in India: to have a thinking and to study the problems of elderly and age with related financial economics and to develop the science of medical gerontology, an area which is neglected in the country. As Mr. N.R. Narayan Murthy, the CEO of Infosys, put it correctly in the recent past, why no party or leader speak about the population control, the root cause of all problems in the country. Family planning or population control is a taboo word in democracy. Quality resources become scattered resources and scattered resources become substandard resources and the substandard resources becomes costly resources and the cheap substandard costly piecemeal resource shapes our future citizen in the battle between the available resources and the population explosion. India needs to focus more on providing vocational training solutions in commonly used trades, in manufacturing, in government, in private partnerships by major corporations and opening such institutions with tax subsidies to provide an integrated secondary education together with a specific trade skill, a mandatory manufacturing powerhouse as opposed to churning out people with college degrees with zero skill looking to function as an appatrichic on caste quota basis, salivating at bribe as the attractive perk in government jobs. Private sector is the solution and not the Sarkari sector, as more government means more clogged economy, killing sewers. Exporting manpower is asinine except for those who needs to acquire specific skills not available in India. One should not forget the current century is a knowledge based economy, one not based on Stalinist Nehruvian collective centralized model. Mr. Narendra Modi did well by killing the Planning Commission and albatross on the good governance. National average for unemployment rate stands at 50. Jobless youth is left with no other option but to go for self-employment, and if they do not possess specific skill, then youth has to do low-paying jobs like selling newspapers, etc. On the other hand, youth is now more interested in skill-based job as salary is better. This has been shown by an increase in the education loans in India. As per the data by Reserve Bank of India, in the past 4 years, outstanding education loan in the category of personal loan has almost doubled. There is a rise in the number of defaulters of education loan that clearly indicates the unemployment state in India, especially for the students who are looking for a job, is bad. According to the reports by NSSO, illiterate population has the lowest unemployment rate because this segment of the society is ready to do low paying jobs. Educated youth is facing the most unemployment, that shows lack of skill based employment opportunities in India. Reports show that India is all set to become the world's youngest country with 64% of its population in the working age group by 2020. But India's present condition of poverty, inflation, lack of quality in education, illiteracy, unemployment, inequality, etc. reflects a bad omen in providing employment for the youth population. Before seeking help from foreign universities to improve our educational system, the foremost thing to do is to raise the standard of existing educational institutions covering rural and urban India. The unequal access to education and wide gap to access is also a major drawback. World is preparing for the future. Is India? Let us now summarize what we have studied in this module. Unemployment occurs when people are without any work and are actively seeking work. This includes only involuntary unemployment and excludes frictional or voluntary unemployment. From 1983 up to 2011, unemployment rates in India averaged 9%, reaching high of 9.4% in December 2010 and a record low of 3.8% in December 2011. The number of unemployed people in India decreased to 39,963,000 in 2009 from 39,974,000 in 2007, which is huge drop of 11,000. Engineering, hospitality and travel came out the only sectors where there was a marginal increase in hiring of people. The report also brings out a general trend and information that the employers look for skills rather than qualification of the applicants. On the basis of gender, it was noted that female candidates were better than the males. To begin with, the first plan did not make any estimate or record of unemployment. The second plan noted the unemployment at 5.3 million, which included 2.8 million in rural areas on the basis of the report by Agriculture Labour Inquiry and 2.5 million in urban areas on the basis of the National Sample Survey in 1953. It is now anticipated that the fourth plan will start with a debit of 12 million unemployed persons, which is again obtained by the carry forward of 8 million from the third plan, to which the shortfall of the plan achievement in relation to the new entrants to the labour market to the extent of 4 million has been added on. National average for unemployment rate stands at 50. Jobless youth is left with no other option but to go for self-employment. Given the demographic dividend, the nation needs to improve upon skills and education quotient of its labor force.